In 2092, climate change has destroyed most plants on the planet, making Earth nearly uninhabitable. The UTS constructs a new orbiting home for humanity that replicates the natural processes on Earth. But only a few are permitted to live there, and even fewer are permitted to become citizens. The people who are still on the Earth have to face polluted air, high taxes, and extreme poverty. The founder of UTS, Sullivan, is working on making Mars a new Earth by growing genetically modified plants. He tells a group of reporters about his plans, announcing that the grand opening of Mars colony will be soon. One of the reporters points out that up to now, only the elite have benefited from the projects and that thousands of people remain on Earth, not to mention all the debris flying faster than bullets in space. The cleaners, called space sweepers, have to take risks in cleaning it up, and they make their living by selling the trash. Sullivan admits his plans aren't perfect and agrees to have a private talk with a reporter. On Earth, Tejo is desperate to find his daughter and tries to pay the authorities with the little rice he has left to let him see the latest body that arrived at the morgue. They are used to him doing this often and take him to the morgue, but once again, it's a false alarm. The following day, a massive object collides with a satellite in the vicinity of the solar battery charging area. A group of space sweepers hurries to get hold of it with their ships, but they are suddenly interrupted by the arrival of a ship known as Victory. Android Bub is on top of the ship and throws a harpoon with a rope attached to the piece of debris. Then Victory takes off, causing the other sweepers to chase after them. As Tiger works on the ship's machinery, making it run quickly and smoothly, Bub begins to roll the rope to pull in the debris. As the other ships approach and attempt to take the plunder, Captain Jang pushes them back with a simple arm shove from Victory. Then pilot Tejo makes a risky move and flies Victory around the solar panels, flying through tight spaces to escape without a chance of being followed. This makes them almost collide with the residential area, but luckily Tejo moves the ship just in time, and they only break an antenna. They then go into the factory, waste management satellite. Tejo sells all the materials they've gathered, but the pay is poor, and on top of that, they must pay for the antenna and the corresponding taxes. In the end, the team is left in debt. Tejo is upset and the clerk threatens him with a knife to soothe him. The news reports on TV that an android named Dorothy was stolen 2 days ago from UTS by extremists called the Black Foxes. The girl looks innocent, but she's actually a weapon, so if civilians see her, they should call security instead of approaching her. However, Tejo doesn't pay much attention and leaves. The Victory crew is under a lot of stress that evening due to their debts. An argument ensues and soon becomes an actual fight that leaves the humans unconscious. Bub puts away her money in a box, revealing she's the only one that has been keeping proper savings. Her wish is to be able to have a better body using synthetic skin. Later, the crew goes out to work on the debris they picked up, which turns out to be a broken ship in rather good condition, considering it came from an area full of nanobots that eat metal. Suddenly, some lights activate inside the ship, so they open up the cargo box and watch a bunch of airbags float out. Hidden among them, they're shocked to see Dorothy. They lead her to Victory, and Tejo can't help but think about his own daughter when he looks at her. The news flashes the missing aunt once more, and the crew is frightened when they hear she's a weapon, and they all run for cover. When she opens her mouth, however, she's just sneezing. Then the crew goes and hides in their rooms and they discuss what to do. Tejo reappears to attempt to tie her up, but as soon as she moves, he is afraid and hides behind some metal. But he sees she has a bag with her, so he snatches it up and goes to his room to look in it. There is a telephone with numerous missed calls for a person named Dr. K and some paperwork from UTS with the same name. The crew decides to fly towards one of the residential districts for non-citizens. They all leave the ship, but Dorothy remains behind and, when left alone, she shows a power that causes a lifeless plant to bloom. In the meantime, the crew heads to a bar and consults on what they should do. Tiger attempts to call the police, but is put on hold, while Tejo believes they can make a lot of money selling Dorothy to the Black Foxes. An argument ensues, and once they all reach an agreement, Tejo takes out a machine that distorts his voice and isn't traceable. He calls Dr. Kong and shows him a video of Dorothy, asking for $2 million in exchange for the girl. Kong immediately agrees to pay and they agree on a meeting place. As the crew is getting dressed for the exchange, an alert is given on the computer that the police are approaching. They unmask themselves right away and conceal the girl, and behave normally before an officer arrives. The cop receives a call from this ship and sees Tiger pointing at someone behind a door, holding a taser. He comes in to look for anything suspicious, but Dorothy sneaks around and is always hidden. Tejo takes some of Bub's savings and deposits them in the cop's hand before the guy pushes him away. But the money is still in his hands and Bub has written it all down, so Jang threatens to report him if he doesn't leave. Afterward, Taeho and Tiger put on the costumes again and go to a club in the commercial district for the exchange. Tiger is holding Dorothy in a bag, and Taeho approaches Kong, who turns around and asks him if he has any weapons, and then tells him to go to a nearby balcony. Some guards get ready to shoot. The two meet Tiger, and Kong gives him a suitcase containing the money, but when they open the bag, Dorothy is missing. The girl is walking through a crowd of dancing people, who all stop dancing when they see a child. All of their devices begin to display Dorothy's missing ad, and they all retreat in fear. The guards fire and Taeho pulls her out of the way just in time, but the bullets break the DJ booth, and everyone runs off in panic. Kong keeps trying to get to Dorothy, but the running crowd pushes him along as Taeho and Tiger continue to search for Kong. A guard notices them and fires right at them. However, Dorothy's power creates a shield that dissolves all the bullets. The guards keep on shooting until there's not a single presence left in the room, thinking they've killed their objectives. But the guys somehow manage to steal Dorothy away, and they're running away victorious. But now the ship is damaged, they have to remain in the factory. After scolding them for failing, Jang destroys Dorothy's phone because she thinks the guards used it to track them. She has saved Kang's number to contact him with their communicator. Meanwhile, Sullivan is talking to his team of scientists about the nanobots on Mars that are attempting to create plants and even an ocean. Someone hands him Dorothy's goggles from the club, and he continues to gaze at them while he berates his team, telling them that there's no hope on Earth. His veins gain a dark color as he wiggles in pain. Sometime later, Dorothy asks Taeho for scissors and uses them to cut off the tomatoes that have grown on the plant. Taeho is impressed and takes Dorothy with him to sell them to other sweepers, making some money but also bonding in the process. Then it's Bub's turn to take care of Dorothy and they get to make up while they talk. Bub finds out something about Dorothy in her scan, but the girl changes the subject to ask about Taeho. Bub tells us that Taeho was a child soldier and that he had only experienced violence in his life. On one day while on a mission, his team killed a mother, and he found a baby in the arms of the dead mother. He didn't send her to Earth as the rules stipulated, but instead took her as his daughter. He soon found out that she was deaf as a result of the mission explosion and took the blame. From then on, he wasn't capable of hurting people anymore. This led to UTS firing him and they found themselves in a bad area. One night, Taeho was looking for some cash and his daughter left. Then, all of a sudden, some space debris fell in the neighborhood, killing thousands and scaring the rest to run in panic. During the chaos, Taeho was unable to find his daughter and saw an horror part of the town fly off into space. Later, the authorities said they had 3 years to locate the body, after which there would be no chance of it being found as the debris would be too distant. She could be located by a search firm in no time, but he didn't have the money for them. To this day, Taeho is still looking for her. That's why he joined a sweeper crew. Bub's story is interrupted when some court agents find her with Dorothy. The ship's phones begin to ring at that moment and Taeho attempts to run to it, but the agents stop him. A desperate Taeho only pushes them away and manages to get the call, during which he agrees to a new meeting with Kong. Unfortunately, the court agent sees Victory announcing it's now the property of the bank due to the crew's debt. In private, Tiger admits he doesn't want to sell Dorothy anymore because he fears what they may do to her, but Taeho needs the money to find his daughter, and the crew needs to get the ship back. Dorothy heads to the bathroom and a man follows her. All of a sudden, the crew hears her shriek and they know she has been kidnapped. The crew begins to search for her and Tiger recalls the tunnels, so he goes there to find a man escorting Dorothy away. A chase ensues, and Tiger loses sight of them, but Taeho arrives just in time to take Dorothy from the kidnapper by surprise. Then the guy takes out a blade, only for Taeho to quickly bring him down with his soldier training. Unfortunately, the man isn't alone, and more master criminals come out at the same time. After only a few minutes, Tiger comes back and beats them all up. Jang also comes and unmasks the leader, discovering the clerk that usually buys their debris. In the meantime, Sullivan is having a meeting with a reporter that called him out. Sullivan says he does not pick the citizens based on their economic status, but rather his system does DNA testing to choose those with the best genes. The reporter notes that UTS is killing the economy of Earth and generating excessive space waste, thus speeding up Earth's death. Getting creepy, Sullivan starts describing how he witnessed everyone in his village die when he was young and how he lost his family. Ever since, he vowed to improve humanity. Meanwhile, his guards are bringing in an unconscious black fox and dropping him on the floor. The reporter hesitantly shoots the fox and Sullivan tells him that he will make him a citizen. But Sullivan believes that the guy is trash and slays him, and his skin turns back to the crew's color. They stand up to the kidnappers as Dorothy runs to the bathroom. Jang notes that robots don't poop and Dorothy is human. Bubs agrees. Then she applies a special light to uncover the kidnapper's tattoos, which turn out to be black foxes. The group tells the audience that the foxes are not terrorists, but rather an environmental group. Dorothy was born with an illness that destroys her nerves, so her father Kong injected nanobots into her body. These healed her nerves and bestowed upon her special powers to make plants grow. This allowed her to heal Earth, and Sullivan's Mars project was no longer necessary. When Sullivan heard about Dorothy, he sent his guards to kill her. The labs and scientists that worked with her were destroyed, but Dorothy couldn't be killed because the only way to eliminate a nanobot is to use a hydrogen bomb. Such a bomb can be found inside the factory's anti-gravity system, so the soldiers want to put her there and blow it up. Then the factory would crash on Earth and bring about enough natural and nuclear disasters to finally put an end to it. In brief, Sullivan's desire is to purify the human race. Suddenly, they hear gunshots and discover the soldiers have arrived at the factory and are looking for them, hitting any person they see in the way. The foxes go out the back door, but Jang and Tiger walk normally through the corridors, acting as random workers. Tao takes Dorothy, and they get out through the vents, but Dorothy sneezes and a soldier sees them. As the soldier starts to shoot, they begin to move faster and Jang distracts by activating Victory. Tao and Dorothy somehow make it to a bridge and run as they evade the fire of the guards, leaping to the ship at the last moment. If a soldier jumps and lands on top of Taeho, he pulls Dorothy to make them both fall. The soldier makes a perfect landing and prepares to catch the girl, but Tiger swings by and catches her first. After everyone is on board, Taeho takes off as quickly as she can. There are missiles following them, and one explodes too close to the ship, sending it flying into the debris field. Soon, Victory starts failing, and the crew can't keep up with all the necessary repairs, which allows a nanobot infestation to get into the ship. Dorothy uses her powers to send all the nanobots away in seconds as they cover the entire Victory. Then she collapses and Tiger realizes that her heart has stopped beating, so he begins CPR. To his surprise, Dorothy farts and wakes up as if nothing happened. Soon, the debris field is abandoned and the news is picked up by Victory, who now announces that the crew members are now wanted criminals. They've been classified as members of the Black Foxes and even blamed for the attack at the club in the factory. Meanwhile, Sullivan is getting treatment and reading through the crew's records. Jang used to be an engineer for the UTS Genius program and invented some important devices. However, she deserted at 19 to form an anti-UTS organization. She attempted to assassinate Sullivan but was unsuccessful and all her entourage perished in the attempt. Tiger was once a leader of a cartel on Earth, but was forced to leave the planet after being sentenced to death. If he's ever caught, he'll immediately be executed. Teo was the inaugural commander of the Space Guard and the first soldier Sullivan carried into the company in his own arms. The Victory crew receives a message from the Foxes moments later and they meet within an old colony. Soon, they board and Dorothy runs to find Kong, but Jang notices something strange. This place is laced with EMP explosives that then activate and disable all the ship's systems, as well as bulbs. The soldiers then come into Victory and begin to shoot down the Foxes and kidnap Dorothy. Jang's crew tries to help her, but the soldiers quickly knock them down. The three of them are only arrested, but all the Foxes are killed, including Kong. Sullivan arrives and puts a hand in Jang's mouth to extract a microchemical bomb that she almost used for self-destruction. He doesn't kill anybody because of their past, but he monologues about his plan. Then he throws a wad of cash at Dorothy, scoffing at Taeho for picking it up to look for his daughter. Afterwards, Sullivan tells his people to put Dorothy in the factory and crash it on Earth. Then he comes as a hologram to all the citizens of UTS and says Mars is ready to be lived in. Back in Victory, Taeho is collecting a part of the money, but the others consider it dirty and don't want it. Actually, they want to save Dorothy and they don't listen to Taeho when he tells them that they will die trying. Meanwhile, Dorothy is locked up in the hydrogen bomb, and Taeho visits the search company and pays them to look for his daughter. He waits, gazing at her old things and discovering some loving words she wrote for him. Although he was just a drunk who ignored her those days, knowing he is doing the same now, Taeho heads back to Victory and agrees to aid in the rescue of Dorothy. Taeho is flying as fast as he can, while Jang pulls out her old gun from her days of rebellion and stands outside the ship to shoot at the soldiers that are approaching. She cannot do everything, so Bubs comes out and starts swinging amongst the enemy ships, destroying them with her harpoon. Unfortunately, the harpoon breaks, and Bubs has to go back. Taeho pushes Tiger's machinery to its limits and begins to fly towards Earth, but pulls Victory back at the last moment. The missiles following them aren't fast enough and burn down when crossing the atmosphere. There are some ships still trailing them, but it's a fast ship and it's in the factory just in time. The crew rushes into the gravity chamber and rescues Dorothy. Jang checks on programming of the bomb and finds that the detonator is inside it, which means that if she hacks it, it will explode. They need to take Dorothy over 5,000 kilometers away so the shockwaves won't destroy her nanobots. Their discussion is interrupted by the arrival of a soldier who quickly knocks Taeho and Jang out. Tiger tells Dorothy to run back to the ship and Bubs attempts to fight the soldier, but he is defeated as well. Then Tiger goes and tackles the soldier into a corridor and locks the door behind the soldier. Tiger makes an effort to fight back, but the soldier is too strong and easily beats Tiger up. A desperate Tiger decides to open the hatch and both of them get sucked out by the pressure chain. Tiger kills the soldier with his axe and goes back into the chamber. The crew gets ready to leave, only to hear that there are attack drones coming. Jang initiates contact with the other sweepers and tells them what Sullivan is going to do and asks for their assistance. Jang takes Victory out of the factory as quickly as she can and shoots down as many drones as she can. When they make it outside, they discover all the factory workers and other sweepers waiting in their ships. The sweepers begin to work together and start to shoot down dozens of drones at once, and they are quite accurate, so Dorothy's crew can fly away safely and save Jang. Meanwhile, the recording of Sullivan's monologue, made by the recording group, Victory, is sent to the news and now all humanity knows the truth. A furious Sullivan leaves in his own ship and finds Victory, firing to halt them. Jang fires back as Taeho flies as fast as possible, but all the shaking causes some metal to fall and trap Jang under it. Suddenly, Sullivan strikes Victory with a mechanical arm and Jang floats away from the ship. Then Sullivan climbs on top of Victory and Bubs attempts to stop him, but ends up getting cut in half. A wounded Jang manages to cling to the ship and activates the booster system just in time to hurl Victory into a flying speed that throws Sullivan off. Unfortunately, the booster doesn't last long and Sullivan returns to Victory, breaking it open. To his shock, he finds the bomb inside. It seems the crew had taken the bomb when they left the factory and dropped Dorothy with the other sweepers before they flew away. In this manner, they baited Sullivan and saved all at the same time, even at the cost of their lives. The other sweepers watch with tears as the bomb goes off, killing Sullivan and destroying Victory. Dorothy uses her powers at that moment, and she is able to control the nanobots, which get the largest part of Victory out of the explosion, but the crew is still alive in it. Sometime later, UTS apologizes for the cover-up and promises to start working on restoring Earth. Their debt is paid for very well for their heroism, so it is gone and Bubs finally has the body she wanted. Taeho brings Dorothy to the search company, and she is able to link up with the nanobots in the debris area, which lets her search for his daughter's DNA. Her body is projected and Taeho meets her in the astral plane and bids her adieu. The crew adopts Dorothy and lives like a happy family as Earth becomes green again. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, leave a comment about your favorite movie, and we will make it next. Thanks for watching.